Next week on Just Corrections, we're going to talk about why you don't give inmates the toilet paper cover. Groundbreaking information here at Just Corrections. Corrections is not really a profession that you can just forget. Just leave the things that you see and hear inside of the facility at the end of your shift. That's ridiculous. And we're going to unpack this a bit. But if you prefer to pass, if you feel like you're one of the ones that can suppress the stress and the trauma, then feel free to leave. Go watch another video about how to properly process a transgender inmate. Or better yet, watch another video about some self-defense tactic, some wrist lock takedown that you'll use twice in your career. Before you go, let me ask you a question. How often are you in a physical altercation in uniform? Put it down below in the comments. Once a day? Once a week? 2 or 3 times a month? Now let me ask you this. How many times, how many days do you witness? Do you argue? Do you de-escalate? Do you go home at the end of your shift amped up? Adrenaline flowing. Do you see where I'm going? I'll spell it out. We have a serious issue in corrections, and it's not the staffing. It's not administration. It's the very culture that we as correctional officers continue to carry and pass on from one generation to the next. So if you're not interested in participating in this discussion, this movement, this progression of mindset, if you could care less about the mental health of yourself or your peers, then peace out. Sayonara. Oh, let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But if you're still here watching, listening, you're telling me one of 2 things. 1, you understand that our mental health is just as important as our physical health. Or 2, you don't really have anything better to do. In either case, I'm humbled that you stayed. I've written a couple of books about the emotional impact that working in the correctional profession can have on a person. So I want to read you something from my latest book, The Nothing That Never Happened. It says, as correctional officers, we cannot afford to underestimate our opponent. We understand that big guys can be big for nothing and little guys can be super wiry and hard to fight. We would never penetrate the personal space of an irate inmate with our hands shoved deep down into our pockets. You wouldn't do that, right? We've already talked about that a little bit. Instead, we would maintain our reactionary gap and we would communicate with our hands up, out in front of us, probably chest high, so we could defend ourselves if we needed to. However, there is one opponent, one adversary that I feel like we repeatedly underestimate because we don't fully understand or acknowledge the power and the influence that this opponent can have on us. And this opponent, that opponent, is the correctional environment. So here's the issue, the concern. We as officers have this inflated sense of self, this confidence built on the nonsense that nothing we see, nothing that we are subjected to will affect us. And maybe that's not the right way to put that. Let me try it this way. We aren't trained to take care of ourselves emotionally. In fact, we're taught to be tough. We're conditioned in corrections to just suck it up. If it bothers you, suck it up. If it scares you, suck it up. You know what you signed up for, so suck it up. I actually heard a psychologist say this in a room full of correctional officers. Suck it up. A person that has never had to carry the keys telling me to suck it up? You fucking... Actually, it's really not that funny. It's kind of sad. It's sad that someone's suggestion to someone who's struggling is to suck it up. Listen to this. This is a comment left on one of my other videos a couple of days ago. And I appreciate this comment. Check it out. 9 years as a paratrooper. Was in Iraq when it kicked off back in 2003. 2 more tours there and then 1 in Afghanistan. And then it says, nothing was more stressful to me, to him, than being a correctional officer for 6 years. He goes on to say that the best thing I ever did, the best thing that he ever did was quit this bullshit. In another comment on another video, he talked about drinking a lot during his time in corrections. 9 years, 3 tours. Fucking hero. Says that his time inside was more stressful than being boots on the ground overseas. Do you still think that this is a joke? That this is just me? Some nobody with no degree making up shit to sell books? It's not. The things that we're exposed to inside change us, shape us, make us cynical, sour us. Do you know why? Because you think that you can just check your trauma at the door. You think that you can escape and just leave it at the fucking gate. Not only do you think that you can do that, you insist, you expect others to do the same. So you say, suck it up. It's part of the job. Just leave work at work. Well, last week at work, I watched a coworker collapse right in front of me. I thought that motherfucker was having a heart attack. So what should I say? Hey, brain, don't replay that shit over and over again in my head because my training lieutenant said that I was supposed to leave stuff like that at work? No, so just stop. Stop saying that stupid shit. Leaving work at work only works until it doesn't work. So So let's skip the middleman. Instead of stuffing it down, filing it away, straight up ignoring the symptoms of our injuries, let's address them. Let's treat them. Let's give people something of substance to help them survive. If you like this video, if you found value in this video, straight punch that little like icon. Comment and share this content with anyone and everyone that you think may be interested. Subscribe and click that little bell so you're notified every time I release another video. And if you're looking for more correctional content, head on over to my Facebook page. I'll post the link in the description below so you know where to go. And don't forget to check out my books, The Nothing That Never Happened and When Home Becomes a Housing Unit. Both are available on Amazon. And if you got some extra time, if you notice, if you go to my Facebook page, I am posting links to videos for another channel, Guardian RFID. I'm making content for them, correctional content that won't be featured on this channel. So if you get a chance, if you have some extra minutes between your comings and your goings, check that channel out. All right, guys, that's all I got. Until next time, be smart, stay safe, stay sane.